So today I want to talk about financing in a relationship. I wouldn't go so far with marriage, yeah, but financing in an interracial relationship. Okay.
hmm
I want to know your view concerning this particular side of things.
So first of all,
Hmm.
you are someone's daughter,
Yes.
right? When you was a child,
Uh-huh.
what did your father want for you?
Ah,
Did he at any point say, I want you to meet a rich white man and be totally dependent on him?
no.
Okay. So when you was a child, age 10 or 12 or
Mhm.
13,
Mm.
14, what were your dreams and aspirations? If someone said to you, what do you want to do when you leave school? What would you have said?
Personally, while growing up, I always wanted to be a model.
Okay. So at no point did you say, I want to meet a rich man who will keep me for the rest of my life.
No,
Okay.
at no point, yeah.
So, and at any point, did you think to yourself that you wanted to be an independent woman, or did you always say, I want to be dependent on a man?
I think as I grew, yeah, as I grew up, there was that independent side of me and dependent side of me.
But that's normal.
Yes.
But did you at any point say, I want to be completely dependent on a man for the rest of my life?
No, definitely.
Okay, so biologically,
Mhm.
there's no part of a woman that wants to be dependent on a man.
Mhm.
The idea of when you meet a white man in the National Bank of Mzungu is caused by society. It's not a natural thing inside of a person.
Mhm.
So now, let's get to the nitty gritty bit.
Mhm.
So, as I don't want to say them sound like I'm putting people down,
Mhm.
but as a white man, even though I don't want it,
Mhm.
I have certain privileges that other people don't,
Yes.
and I probably earn more than a lot of people.
Yeah.
But as I said before, my costs are higher.
Uh-huh.
So when I met you, you said to me that by that point you decided you wanted to be a makeup artist.
Yes, but remember I was working when you met me? Yes.
Working in some dodgy place. Let's not go into that.
Yeah.
But you wanted to be a makeup artist.
Yes.
And then you wanted to go into skincare.
But of course, the skincare came in as you took me to school to study, and
But notice that I took you to school to study.
yes,
I didn't throw money at you.
you did.
Okay. So now this is what I'm getting at. There are two ways. If you meet a guy who's got a little bit of excess money, there's two ways of doing it. That man can throw that money at you so you can go out and buy a nice dress, you can go and get your hair done, you can go and get your nails done. And eventually you become so dependent on that man that if he goes, you're finished.
Yeah.
If he dies, you're finished. But it also creates another issue. If you become dependent on that man because he pumps money into you, and you know that if he goes, you lose your house, you lose your car, you lose everything, you're more likely to end up in an abusive relationship.
Yeah.
Okay? Because you have become dependent on that man. So what there should be in a relationship is mutual codependency. So when Damon meets Imi, and Imi's got a dream, and Imi's got not shortfalls, but she doesn't have all the tools to make that dream come true.
Yeah.
A responsible man will send her to school, will use that money he would have spent on nails and hairs and cars, etc., to set up the business so Imi can be independent. Because from childhood, she's never wanted to be independent. It's only because of the pressure of society that says you're with a white man, he must be rich, or women that totally depend on the man, and I don't think they're really happy. You was dependent on me for a little while. Between
Yeah.
the furniture shop and DIB, you was dependent on me. Did you enjoy it?
I got tired of it. I really got tired of it, and I must say, yes, you are an amazing provider. Yeah.
I'm a provider.
You are an amazing provider. But it got to a point whereby I was getting tired of receiving from you, coming from a place where I always had my own. I always had my own stuff. You get made my own money, no matter how small it was. But it felt good just having that sense of, this is what you actually worked for. It was
That's called pride. That's called having a degree of pride in yourself and what you've achieved. And if you are totally codependent on a man, you've got no sense of success. And I promise you, I'm speaking to all the ladies out there, that one day you will be sitting in your chair, 80 years old, thinking, if only I'd done that. If only I'd followed my dream. Which people don't get when they become totally dependent on someone.
Yeah.
And when you look around, actually, in reality, when you was dependent on me, you wouldn't have had this flat.
Yeah.
Just some dependency on me. Look how much more you've got from being in business and earning your own money. And at the end of the month, having that feeling, 'cause there's no better feeling than saying, I worked for this, I earned it.
True. Very true.
And like on the nasty side, if anything happens to me, you will still be able to continue.
Well, that's a God forbid.
Yeah, I know, but maybe in a slightly different way.
Yeah.
But you're not going to end up losing everything. Whereas so many people I see, the man's bought a car, the man's bought a house, the man buys their clothes, the man buys their food, the man buys their shoes, the man pays for their hair, the man pays for their nails, he pays for everything, and then if anything happens to him, what happens to that person?
I know it's really a hard topic for someone to digest out there, because the mentality a lot of women are having out there is that, okay, yes, biblically speaking, a man is supposed to be a provider. Yeah. Yes, a man is supposed to be a provider.
But define provider.
Yes, there has to be that definition of provision.
The definition of providing in the Bible comes from Hebrew. It's not the same meaning.
Explain that.
Well, biblical times, provider, the man went out and hunted. The man brought the food back, and the woman skinned the food, killed the chicken, which I hate, or the cow, or whatever, and cooked the meal. But the husband was still out gathering.
Yeah.
So the sense of provide in the Bible is not financial. There was no financial thing in the Bible. It was all done by bartering. Like, I'll give you my goat, and I could go very in depth on this, on the Hebrew way of life. It wasn't about finances. It wasn't about someone paying out money so a woman could sit at home all day and watch television. There was no television. And quite often, because I've studied theology and all this sort of thing in Hebrew, we forget that the Bible was written a long, long time ago, when providing was different.
Yeah.
Dependency was different. When a farmer was more dependent on a soldier than he was his wife, and the wife was more dependent on that soldier. So, yeah, we can say biblically the Bible says the man should provide, but we've got to define what provision is.
That's true. Something to really.
And that phrase in the Bible has been used
in the wrong way
by Christian men to abuse women for centuries, to make them dependent.
It's a tough topic. It's really a tough topic, because one thing I know for sure, out of the experiences I have had with the people around me, many oftentimes, people, ladies come to me, asking me, why is this man not providing for me? It's this and that. He's sending very little money. You get, and then some look at you. We've come this far. We've built ourselves. It's been a long time of growth.
And a lot of debt.
Yeah, that bit of it. We thank God it's not there now. But then these ladies come to me and then ask, how do you do it? You get, someone has just entered a relationship. How do you do it? The man is not providing, the man is not giving this, the man is not doing this, the man is not doing that. And I'm like, wait, hold on a bit. You seeing me here, it's been a 5-year journey. You get, and all of these things did not come in one go. Like, we built them. So people tend to see a lot of glam in us when actually they don't know that everything that is at hand right now, we did work for it.
We've also got to as well remember motives.
Yeah.
That a man who has a substantial amount of money in the United Kingdom or America, he can have a face like a donkey's backside. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
He can walk out the door and pick and choose almost any woman he wants. So why would he look for a girl living in Africa, thousands of miles away? And that's where you've got to question motives. My motive was I'll be quite open about my motive.
Yeah.
I travelled to Africa. I liked the general culture of Africa. Once you've done black, there's no turning back and all that, and black don't crack. So that was kind of where my motive was.
Yeah.
And from running the Facebook dating group that I admin, there are other men, because women all around the world expect money to be spent on them. Let's not have that illusion that it's solely a cultural thing here and in Nigeria, etc. They have expectations. Life in the UK is very expensive. So if you've got a man with not very much money, he's going to struggle to find someone half decent in the UK. So he can, and the perception is, and this is the perception, I'm not saying it's a reality, the perception is from this guy who's not got much money, is I can get this young, good-looking black girl from Uganda or any other African country, and everything there is cheap.
Yep.
So I can send her, I don't know, 20,000 shillings a month, and she'll be able to buy rice and beef and chicken and have a good standard of living.
20,000 can't buy that dish.
That's one of the other sides.
Yeah.
The other one is that a lot of white men are just looking for nudes without commitment. And this is where it gets a bit messy, because if someone's asking for nudes, then the woman's got a right to ask for money, because it's got to be a two-way street.
Yeah.
And the other one is the guy has got such a bad reputation that he can't find anyone locally because everyone knows him. So the financial thing always goes back to motives. Like, we know of someone who cannot afford to come here.
Yes.
Cannot afford to do anything. Sends every single penny he gets,
I know, right?
to his partner here.
Who is less concerned about him and just, making use of him. It's sad.
He gets a tiny amount of money. He's not the best looking guy in the world.
Yeah.
But he can say he's with this beautiful young girl.
Exactly. I kind of feel sorry for him.
But he's getting what he needs out of it. This is the thing you've got to understand. That every relationship, now when I talk about there's codependency in a relationship, which means I'm dependent on you for some things, you're dependent on me for other things. And I would say 95% we're equally dependent on each other for different things. So that can be healthy or it can be unhealthy. And what you see with us, I think, is healthy, that we've got the codependency where we've got a business, we've got a home, we've got all this sort of thing. Or we've got the unhealthy where he wants something that doesn't really exist.
Yeah.
And he's prepared to pay for it. And the girl gives him the illusion that it does exist.
It does exist.
And, that's kind of what can happen. And that's a mess. But it's
Such a mess.
not as much of a mess as complete dependency on a man. Because once you become financially dependent on someone, you lose yourself. In the modern economy, you lose yourself because yourself no longer exists.
Wow. So, in general, motives.
Motives.
Yeah, people's motives.
People's motives at the root. If you're looking at a long distance relationship, because it's not easy, because the whole dynamics are different.
Yeah.
You've got to look at, and I know people who've got a girl in Ethiopia, a girl in Kenya, a girl in Uganda, a
Every
girl
country.
in Nigeria, a girl in Ghana, and they all think they're the only one. And none of them have ever met that man.
And it's just, chats online.
It's just dreams and promises.
That's it.
And if you become financially dependent, you get sucked into that dream because you've got nowhere to go. Your house is, the rent is paid by the man, everything. If you walk away from that, what have you got left?
Nothing.
You haven't even got yourself left. you haven't even got yourself. It's like, say for instance, you were a disabled person with a wheelchair.
Yeah.
And I came and I took that wheelchair and ran away with it. What would you do? And that's what men are becoming. And they're not doing it with a bad intent. They're just not thinking things through. They're becoming the wheelchair. And they think they're doing the right thing by making a woman a charity case that they just finance and don't develop. But the responsibility and the provision of a man, possibly more accurately, that goes back to the Hebrew, is provide your wife with an education, provide your wife with opportunities. Because that is provision, that's equally provision.
Yeah.
When I met you, you wanted to do something, you didn't have the money to do it. First step first was to improve your life, because let's be honest, your life at that point,
it was bad.
It was pretty cack. I walked in the house and I thought, oh my God, I'm not taking a wee in that. So the first step is to kind of improve it.
I wish I had a photo of this house. But even so at that point, that was like an elevated part of my life, because I started living in, initially I lived in a 50,000 house, and then I just kept upgrading because of, I think I was in a 200,000 house.
Well, let's look at it. Let's look at it the way we've done it. We had that house which was 200,000, I seem to remember.
Yeah.
Then we found a house the first or second time I came. That was 550,000.
There was 350, then there was a 500.
So that was without the business. We got you to that point.
Yeah.
Then when your sort of standard of living was not great, but semi-decent.
Yes.
And safe.
Yeah.
That's got to be a priority, is safety.
Yeah.
We then worked on the business.
Yeah.
The business then financed. How much was the last house?
This is the house we're in.
No, the last one, Rashid's place. How much was that? That's 550.
Yeah.
So then the business financed a 550,000 house a month. Now the business is financing a 1.3 million a month house. And I know you want to move again. But as I say, you've got to get the business into a position to do it, because then you've got some pride in that house you've got. And you've got a reason, and you know it's secure.
Well, the house is beautiful. It's just that I have moods sometimes.
I know. By the way, guys, I'm 21. This grey hair wasn't here before.
Well, thank you for giving us your view when it comes to finances in an interracial relationship. I hope this really helps someone out there.
The thing is, I would say to everyone out there, you are someone's daughter.
Yeah.
Think of what your father wanted for you. Pick up your bag and go and live your dream.
Yeah.
And if you meet a guy who's got a little bit of money that can help you do it, ask for that.
Yes.
Don't ask for the nails or the hair. Ask for that, because the nails and the hair can come later.
Perfect.
And in my case, go later. That's all I can say, really, is people need to live their dream rather than trying to live a dream that society and other people want to impose on them.
Well, I'm only glad that amidst all of these things, I have personally managed to stay calm, not live an exaggerated kind of life, because I mean, I wasn't an exaggerated kind of person as well.
Yeah, but you would if I didn't say no.
Huh?
You would be. You would be living a very exaggerated life.
What do you mean? No. What do you mean exaggerated? The things I love to do is shopping, clothes, eat well, restaurant, ABC.
Yeah, posho and beans. That's what you deserve.
No, my system right now is already allergic to posho and beans, so we can't go there. But well, I've managed to live a simple and humble life. Money hasn't changed
But
me.
bear in mind, simple and humble is comparative.
Mm-hmm.
So to some, you are not living a simple and humble life.
Okay.
To others, you are. Someone who's got a 5-bedroomed house with a Mercedes and a Land Rover and a BMW and a personal chauffeur and someone who does their nails for them every day, your life is simple and humble. To someone who's living in a 1-bedroomed house in a not very nice area where the rain comes in and it floods and they're struggling to get the basics in life, your life is extravagant.
Wow.
So that's comparative. And you can look at what and biblically, you can look at what you've got and you can thank the Lord, or you can be resentful and want more.
I'll always want more. I can't be wanting.
No, I'm not saying nothing wrong with wanting more, but it's when you resent what you've got.
Yeah, I get you.
Because everyone out there, people talk about miracles. Okay, I'm going to divert, but it's relevant. People talk about miracles and they say, God, give me this business and it'll be a miracle. No, that's not the miracle. The miracle's already there. God has given you the talent. He's given you the brain. He's given you the hands. He's given you the feet. He's given you everything you need to walk out the door and be a success. And that's the miracle. And that's where the church has lost the plot. And you know my views on the church. Even though I'm Christian, I think the church has lost the plot. Because they're saying, oh, this person's ill, we need a miracle to heal it. The miracle's already there. It's called doctors and it's called medicine. Because when you think, if you didn't have that, what would happen? The miracle's already there. We just need to use the knowledge, use the technology,
but
and
there
use
are
our
cases
abilities.
where one needs a divine miracle. I've seen miracles.
And the divine miracle actually comes through the doctors.
Outside of the doctors.
Outside of the
doctors, there is
maybe
power.
Once in a blue moon, you will see
What do you mean once in a blue moon?
A lot of the time, right? And I'll tell you this now, and I'll tell you this from studying Hebrew and not studying what the church says is what is biblical. Is that you're saying, oh God, I really want you to set up my business. Go, okay, I've given you the ability, go and do it. It's on you, kid.
Our understanding of faith is something that is like this.
Well, it's not, because you have the ability.
Yes, I know.
Where you've got now.
But then, listen, there are cases.
There are always cases. The exception does not.
Divine miracles still happen. I don't know how you're going to take my head off that.
The exception doesn't prove the rule. There's always exceptions to everything. There's always the norm, and you've got to look at the norm. So from when I met you to where you are now, would you say that is a miracle?
I worked towards it.
Yeah, but would you say it was a miracle?
Yes.
So you used the abilities that God had given you.
Yeah.
That's the miracle in your story.
Yeah. Well.
Anyway, we digress.
We're done here today. Thank you so much for listening to us, and we are obviously going to be bringing you more and more when it comes to things like this, which
we should do one on religion.
Well, no, we are going to leave this as a battlefield. Let's stop at that. Thank you, guys. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us for more. content. Remain blessed.